Before beginning, this video documents my personal experience with Blizzard's account enforcement and reflects my own opinions based on the evidence I've gathered. All claims, statements, and assertions I make are based on my own personal experience, any available information publicly, and anecdotal accounts. These should all be regarded as allegations rather than verified facts. My goal is not to attack or misrepresent Blizzard, but to explain why I believe my account restrictions were falsely issued and to ask that they be reviewed. Because what has felt like in my experience and reviewing other people's situations online is that the report system feels fully automated with no human intervention whatsoever, meaning that once an account has reached a certain threshold for a certain amount of reports for a specific offense, it will trigger an automatic and immediate punishment from Blizzard, meaning that innocent players can get banned for offenses that they never committed in the first place. I've gotten banned 3 times now when I haven't cheated, and I have proof today that I'm going to show that I didn't cheat at all. So just to give some context about me, I've been playing this game since 2016, practically since the game came out. And I've hit top 500 on multiple occasions in the past. I'll have like an image right now as I'm talking, like with all my stuff. And I've also spent at least $1,500 on this game over the 10 years, maybe even more. It's great. Like I really love this game. That's why I supported it, spending money and stuff throughout the years. And since I've spent so much time and money on this account, so much history, so much investment, it's like all of a sudden, why would I suddenly start trying to cheat now after 10 years? And even if I got banned after the first time, why would I continue to cheat and get banned 2 more times? I can even show like the chair I'm sitting in right now. It's the, I've been using this Overwatch chair for like ages. Like that's how much I love this game, man. I use an Overwatch chair. I use an Overwatch chair. Like, just to show even more, I have a full-on Hammond onesie. So obviously he's the best character in the game. But it just goes to show how much I love this game. I literally bought a onesie, bro. Is that not insane? So while I'm talking about everything, I'll have some of my gameplay from what I recorded for everything as my evidence after the second ban ended, because I had a feeling I was gonna get banned again, and I recorded all my gameplay. So I'll have all the gameplay starting now while I'm talking. So to go into the details, I got banned for unapproved peripherals. And what that pretty much means on console is using stuff like a Zim or a Cronus. And for anyone that doesn't know what that is, it pretty much is an adapter you plug into your console, and it tricks your console into think you're still playing on a controller, but you're actually gonna be able to play on like a mouse and keyboard. So you're using mouse and keyboard and getting aim assist, which is totally broken. It's been an issue on console for ages. So how do I know I was banned for unapproved peripherals? So pretty much Blizzard allows you to ask for a data log, and you get a bunch of information about all your stuff and all your history, your login data, your match history. I'll show an image on the screen right now of my restriction history that shows up. And you can see right now, so you can see there's the 3 bans for competitive invalid input suspension. And you can see, right, there's an apply date and an expire date. So the first time I got the ban, it was a week long. And the second time I got banned, it was a little bit after, it was a 2-month ban. And then my recent ban I just got, which I have all my gameplay recorded, is another 2-month ban. So now I'll just talk about my whole situation regarding all 3 bans. So starting with the first ban, I decided to just log onto the game like usual, and for some reason I'm unable to queue competitive. And I'm super confused because it's telling me please use an unapproved or please use an approved peripheral. I'll put the image on screen right now. And I've never gotten any type of notification like this ever playing this game. And so I go to check my email and I see that I got this from Blizzard. So I'm reading this and I'm like, what the heck? I never cheated. This is crazy. Like, first time ever getting anything like this ever. And I click on the code of conduct that it links in the Blizzard EULA, and that pretty much wasn't helpful at all for telling me why I got banned. It's super vague and generic. So obviously, this is a first for me. I'm clueless as to what to do. And I go on my battle.net account and I see I can go on my past restriction history. And on it, it shows my active penalties, and you can see it doesn't even allow me to try and appeal it. I'll put the photo as I'm saying it. So since I'm unable to even try and defend myself, I go on Reddit to see if this has ever happened to anyone. And unfortunately, there wasn't really anything that was helpful. And instead, I actually get gaslit by so many of the comments saying I deserve this, which I'm putting on the screen right now. So in one of the comments I mentioned I used the default PS5 controller. That's not technically true. I actually use the DualSense Edge PS5. It's the officially licensed Sony Pro controller. And all it really is a PS5 controller, the default one, but with 2 programmable back buttons. You can customize some of the inner dead zones and stuff like that, but I don't do any of that at all. It's just a PS5 controller. So I actually found online, I believe it was from one of the Reddit comments, that even though it said on my past restrictions I can appeal it, I can try to attempt instead to write in a ticket for a game master to answer it. And I know the only other peripheral I've ever additionally added to my PS5 was a keyboard strictly for typing in the chat quicker, nothing else. And that's also allowed, by the way, and it doesn't break any rules. Other people have done it. I know friends also do that. I created a ticket on my situation and I sent this to Blizzard. I pretty much accepted it wouldn't be reversed. And I got this reply from Blizzard. And just to show too, this was the keyboard I used that I plugged into the console for typing in the chat, and the USB. Totally loud, doesn't break any rules. And so yeah, reading from my response, I got the infamous AI response that had nothing to do with my situation or what my ticket was requesting at all. And this is actually a super common thing that people get as a response when writing these tickets. And at this point, I'm pretty much just over it, since I was like, you know what? It's only a week-long ban. Some mistake must have just happened. Whatever, I'll just move on. I'll play competitive again when the restriction ends. It's just a week. And I just assumed, you know what? It must have been my keyboard. It triggered the ban. And I decided to just never have it plugged into my console again. And so the ban finally finishes and I start playing again. And then I get banned again, but this time it's for 2 months. So this time around, this restriction totally took away all of my aim assist. And obviously it banned me from competitive play for the 2 months. And this was happening literally right as the brand new Overwatch rebranding was happening, with all the new 5 heroes coming out. I would say arguably one of the hypest moments in Overwatch history that I've played in 10 years. And I couldn't even get to experience it properly. And again, this is the Blizzard email I got for the ban. So yeah, as you can see, it's the same exact email as the last one I got, except the date is different for the competitive suspension. And it also matches up with the restriction history I showed earlier, just to add like more credibility. So now I for sure know that it's not the keyboard that was causing my ban, since I'm playing only with my controller, nothing else, no added peripherals. And again, I can't appeal it like last time, which I show here. So now I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, and I just get desperate. I try making another ticket, and I actually get this response from Blizzard. So I'm pretty much just trying to be as genuine as possible. I'm saying, look, I have no idea why I'm getting banned for cheating. There must be some confusion going on, because I don't cheat. I don't do anything like that. I'm just playing on a controller. And I actually got a real response from the person, from the game master. They're telling me that there's going to be an ongoing final review of the case. They'll let me know when it's done. And honestly, this actually filled me with a lot of hope, because I didn't get like that generic AI response. And seeing that there was going to be a review on my case made me so confident that the ban was going to be uplifted, because I knew I was innocent. And I was so confident, in fact, I was so confident I spent $110 on in-game currency to get that entire Sanrio collab and the other cool skins that released during that new season, like with the new Overwatch rebranding. And so for this final ongoing investigation, I wait a couple days. I'm checking my Gmail like every day. Oh, do I get a reply? Nothing. A week passes, nothing. Then 2 more weeks pass and still nothing. And at this point I'm worried, but I'm figured, you know what, they must still be doing it. And 3 weeks pass and I still have received nothing. And at almost 4 weeks, I decided to create a new ticket addressing this investigation. Because for context, anytime any game master replies to your ticket, you cannot reply at all, because they're automatically marked as resolved by them after they give you that response. Even if I'm not satisfied with what they told me or need help, it's still resolved. And I cannot do anything except create a brand new ticket. I create a new ticket to ask for an update on my current investigation that's going on, and I get this reply from a Blizzard game master. So he hypes himself up as the unholy death knight from a faraway land. I'm not sure what that's reference to. Before proceeding to tell me that my game account has been permanently closed. And when I read this email, I was like, are you kidding me? It said 2 months or initially for my ban, and now you're telling me it's permanently closed. And the fact that they told me that what their investigation found was that I actually am cheating, I was just dumbfounded. I didn't know how to reply. What also felt really frustrating was the fact I was never going to get an update from the original game master, since in this one a different game master replied. I just blurred the name if I hadn't requested the update. But then I tried logging into Overwatch to see the ban, and surprisingly, I can still log in. The competitive restriction, that same one, is still there, and nothing is permanently banned. So what that meant was the ticket that got sent to me didn't even apply to my situation whatsoever. And I'm thinking, are they really looking to my account if they're gonna send a response like this? Because honestly, it's kind of unprofessional. It's not even applicable to me. This isn't relevant to what happened to my account. So that meant the game master didn't really even thoroughly look into what happened with my account and the restriction to reply with something relevant. And you can see too, I'm not lying, on the past restrictions that I mentioned earlier, there's nothing that shows permanent closure, just the week ban, the second ban, which was 2 months, and my third current ban, which is 2 months. So I tried going to Reddit again for help because I have no idea where to go. Like, what am I supposed to do? And the comments again are pretty much gaslighting me again that I deserve the ban. And I even had a replay code of one of my last games I got to play before the ban happened. And people still believed that my gameplay did not look like controller input. So researching more online, this is when I found out you can actually request your data directly from Blizzard. And that's how I was able to even show the past restriction history like earlier in the video. And so I decided to go ahead and do that since the ticket replies I'm receiving aren't helpful at all and telling me why I'm even getting banned. And once I request the data, I'm able to delve into all the data and everything. I could find exact login dates when I log into the game, the exact times I log out, and then the section again, my restriction history. And I even debated like, shoot, maybe my account's being hacked. Maybe someone is hacking into my account and playing with a controller or a mouse and keyboard or something. But all the login IP addresses were only mine. So finding out that the exact reasoning behind both of those previous bans was an invalid input suspension, I researched more online and I found out that my restrictions were following very closely to an official blog post they posted on unapproved peripherals and them trying to crack down on Zim and Cronus or mouse and keyboard players. The blog post is from April 18th, 2024, and I'm getting the ban restrictions nowadays in 2026. And I post text directly from that blog post talking about how they're action in 2 phases, where the first one, the ban is for a week, and the second one is restriction for like forever, pretty much, where you're stuck playing against other mouse and keyboard players. This is very similar to what happened to me, where I was banned originally for a week, and the second ban, instead of what the blog post is saying, instead I got that 2-month restriction on competitive and got my aim assist taken away. But I wasn't in the mouse and keyboard pool. So they've changed some stuff since, obviously it's been over a year since that blog post and my bans. So now that I know the exact reasoning behind why I'm getting banned for cheating, I now know for a fact 100% that I'm completely innocent. So I decided to send in another ticket with my evidence I have knowing why I'm banned, and I get this reply. So in my ticket, I'm trying to add as much credibility to myself as possible. Like, look, I'm a 10-year-old player, spent so much money on this game, I would never want to risk any of that using an unapproved peripheral. And I'm telling them, I know the exact reason behind why you're banning me or giving me a restriction on competitive. And I know there has to be some misunderstanding. And pretty much the reply I get is they're telling me, we checked into it and yeah, we found our initial findings. You were cheating. Your account closure will have to remain as it is. And my account isn't technically closed. It just has a competitive restriction as well as losing all my aim assist. So again, I feel like I'm just getting hit with another templated response by a game master that isn't actually thoroughly checking my situation at all. And I also mentioned a fraying cable, which I can show right now. I actually asked ChatGPT, like, do you know by any chance why I'm getting banned by Blizzard? Because Reddit's not helping me, and online, I don't know what about my setup. And they said it could potentially be a USB cable since it's fraying, and I'll show it right now. So here you can see, this is the official cable that came with my controller. Super long, and you can see it's kind of fraying out. The ends, it's looped a lot there. So that's what I meant about my cable. So one thing about me, I know I'm innocent, and if I know I didn't do anything wrong, I'm gonna do everything in my power to prove that I'm right, because I hate being accused of something that I never did in the first place. So I send in another ticket again, and I get this reply. So I do my best again to explain why I'm not cheating, and I'm trying to make it obvious, like, look, I've never used unauthorized peripherals, anything, hacks, cheats, nothing like that. And I just want my account to get unbanned. Like, I want the restriction to be lifted because something must have been triggered incorrectly as a false positive or something. And I also asked if my restriction cannot be reversed. I want to know if I can by any chance get any type of refunds on recent purchases. Kind of discussing more about my recent, that Sanrio purchase I did, the $110 purchase on the Overwatch currency. Because that kind of sucked, this feeling that I'm spending money on this game and it's kind of treating me like this. And I'm just asking them, please give me another chance internally to give another review. And they tell me that I actually received a suspension for using third-party hardware in Overwatch. This is the first time that a Grandmaster or a Game Master ticket reply kind of gave me a more specific reasoning as to why I got banned. But I think it's only because I made it very clear I know why I'm getting banned. And they're telling me that because of this, it's not going to be able to overturn this suspension. I also completely ignored my whole section on where I'm asking if it's possible to get a refund. And they also tell me that that I have a relevant email that gives me all the information, letting me know what happened. But I never got that email. That never came. So they kind of lied about that too. So then again, I decide, you know what, I'm sending another ticket. I don't care, let's see what happens. I send another ticket explaining, again, my whole credibility, trying to say why I wouldn't cheat. I also talk about more specifically my controller and how I have it set up. I actually even created a little YouTube short showcasing my settings and everything, because my settings are not conventional by any means compared to what everyone uses on console. Because on console, the meta and the default is dual zone, but I don't like dual zone aim technique. I prefer the linear ramp technique. And I'm trying to explain that can make it look more mouse-like. And again, I asked, hey, if it's possible, if the suspension is still on hold, can I get a refund, please? Like, this sucks. And I got hit with the generic AI templated response again. And just out of curiosity too, I went on my YouTube short to see if the view counter went up by even 1, just to see if the person even clicked on the link or anything. And the view count did not go up at all. So I'm assuming no Game Master actually replies to this at all. It's just a straight up generic AI templated response that gets sent to so many tickets trying to get help. So since I'm 100% confident that this ticket was not viewed by a human at all, I decided to make another ticket and I get this reply. So pretty much I just copy and paste practically the same exact thing. And the Game Master who is the unholy Death Knight from a faraway land was the one to reply to this one again. And he let me know that, again, my game account is temporarily suspended due to a breach of our policies. They sent an email with more details, which they did not. I haven't gotten any email since then about that. And he's letting me know that I'll be able to play again after the time. So this time he actually corrected himself. This reply from this Game Master was correct, and it wasn't the permanent account closure that he told me last time. And they're also telling me that this matter is now closed, and they're not going to look into further discussion on the subject, which kind of was crazy to me because I was like, shoot, man, like, I know I'm not cheating. I just want an honest, like, genuine investigation done on my account. So just to test my luck, I sent another ticket, and this is my 8th ticket now in total from everything. Pretty much saying the same exact thing where I'm 100% confident some misunderstanding happened. I know I'm innocent. I'm a legit player. And they just straight up tell me this penalty is already upheld. We're ignoring everything you're saying now. Best regards. And so yeah, they're not looking into my whole situation at all anymore. And there isn't really anything I can do now. Just for one last try, I again make another ticket, my 9th ticket now. And I get a reply that they understand I want to appeal an action on my account, but they told me they've previously investigated and upheld this multiple times, and that, again, they are just going to ignore me. And they tell me farewell. So my ban restriction initially was 2 months, and all these back and forths I've been doing with all of these tickets to Game Masters took nearly that entire 2-month time span. So my ban restriction was about to end anyways, and instead I just planned a strategy. Like, you know what, I already got twice, no one's believing me online that I'm legit, so naturally, if I don't change anything about my setup, surely I'll get banned a 3rd time, right? And I was exactly right, I did get banned again. But this time around, I was prepared because I had a feeling the ban would come and I had all my gameplay recorded. So I had a plan in mind so that once my 2nd restriction for the competitive ban was over, I would set up 2 live streams at the same time. One live stream being the PS5 live stream of my gameplay and uploading it to YouTube, and which is all the clips that I'm showing on this video right now are straight from that PS5 live streams, all those games. And I would also stream from my phone, my gameplay with my hand in the frame, as well as the PS5 and the TV, everything. And I would also make sure to show my console ports at the beginning and end of every single stream, just to make it clear that I didn't plug in any unapproved peripheral at all during my session. And since I had downloaded my Blizzard data previously, I knew that it would record all the times I logged in and logged off. So I plan to use this to my advantage to prove that all the times I recorded my gameplay were the only times I ever touched and played the game, so that it didn't look like, oh, off screen I did something suspicious and that got recorded. So this would be the evidence I used to prove that I never attempted to play with unapproved peripherals off screen. And the evidence I have in place proves that I never did end up using anything unapproved during the timeline of when I started playing after my second ban restriction ended. So just to show an example from my very first stream I did, which was on April 11th, 2026 this year, I have the footage from my hand cam as well as my PS5 live stream, which I'll show it in sync like at the same exact time right now. Recording my hands when I'm playing. This is to show proof on my PS5. Nothing is plugged in right now except my charger for my controller, and on the back side, as you can see, nothing plugged in the USBs at all. That's the power cord, Ethernet, HDMI cable, nothing else. Alright, I think I'm all set to go. So, for context, I use the DualSense Edge controller. I have here this little control freak I have on it. In the back has two programmable side buttons. This one's for jumping, and this one's for pinging. That's what I do. So I have this one set to X and this one on the right for the D-pad, which is pinging for me. Just to show like all of the stuff is matching the controller. Shoot. This is, so I'm jumping, moving, pinging, pinging. So yeah, at the beginning and end of every single hand cam live stream, I show proof that I am having nothing plugged into the ports, and I showcase everything. And I make sure my controller is always in the frame when I'm playing, just to prove I'm not playing on any type of mouse and keyboard whatsoever. And I was actually able to talk to another Redditor who, like me, got an unfair ban for a week on that competitive ban restriction for using a officially licensed Pro controller. And they told me this in a private conversation together, and I can't verify whether what he's saying is entirely true or not, but for my third ban, I was given a 2-month restriction and it was not a permanent closure. So right after my restriction on my second ban ended, I'll call this phase 3 now. So starting phase 3. My entire point was seeing if I would get banned during phase 3 while I live streamed, so I had proof. I knew that the Blizzard log data would show my match history, and I just wanted to prove live that I wasn't ever a cheater in the first place, since this whole situation was just so annoying. And I was sick and tired of so many people doubting my legitimacy. So if I had everything recorded, I knew I could prove my innocence. And by the end, when I actually do eventually get banned, I downloaded my data log again, the second time now, and was able to retrieve all my login data times and all the times I logged in and off. I provide all of them right now. So the data log actually records all the times I logged in and logged out in UTC, but my time zone is Pacific Daylight Time. So I asked ChatGPT to convert all the times from UTC to PDT, and below is what it made. I then also asked ChatGPT to subtract the difference in times between the start date and the end date, and that is shown here. The reason I'm doing this is because then it's so much easier to compare the time played total that day for what the Blizzard log tracks compared to the amount of time I played during the hand cam session that I live streamed that day. And here you can see all the days I live streamed live from my phone to show my hand cam gameplay. And you can see the dates match exactly with the Blizzard log data that show my login times. And the timings also match as well. And the test and May 19 gameplay hand cam video are unlisted just because those were testing videos that didn't work out. And so it's just unlisted because they're useless. And then on the 9th, I was actually fully prepared to start streaming and everything. I had my tripod ready, I have everything, but I'll show some photos right now when I tried to, because it took me a bit to set up the live streams and setting up my accounts for both, because I had to live stream on 2 separate YouTube accounts. And I was having some issue. It wasn't letting me because it was saying I don't have streaming enabled. I wasn't aware you needed to do that. And also when I finally got it figured out, it said I had to wait 24 hours before I can stream. And you can see the times that I show these photos are taken at match with the times I was logged in during Overwatch. And you can see I log out like a few minutes after realizing I can't stream that same day. These are the only 2 moments that could be used against me to make me kind of look suspicious, but I tried to address that now to clear up the confusion and make it clear that I did not play any games at all on the 2nd or the 9th. I started playing purely only competitive game modes starting on the 11th, and I never played any quick play, arcade, any types of non-competitive game modes at all after the 2nd ban restriction ended. And I put these images side by side just so you can easily tell the dates and the times match with the live streams and the times that I logged in and logged out in the Blizzard log. And you can ignore March 10th because that's not relevant to my situation because my 2nd ban ended on April 2nd. You'll actually see in the side-by-side that the timings don't match on the dot, which actually makes sense because on the live streams, I show at the beginning and end of each stream again, me showing around the console to show that nothing is plugged in. And during those time periods, the game is not open. So Overwatch isn't tracking me live during that time for me playing. And also from the Blizzard log, it shows you your player ranked match history since I solely only played competitive matches during this whole time. And I'll put some photos right now of all the matches I played. And I also compiled a Google Sheet to match the corresponding times that these matches were played at to the times that those games are shown both on the PS5 live stream as well as the live stream from my hand cam that I did on my phone. And I put that on the Google Sheet again, and I also have that link on my Google document, where my Google document documents everything I've done during this whole ban sessions, all 3 of them. And just to be clear, the photos I showed on screen right now from the sheet is just as an example to show what it looks like. That's not actually what the full sheet looks like. The player rank match history provided from the Blizzard log, I showed all the info that it was provided to me. The character history also matches because Soldier 76 in Competitive Stadium was the very last match I ever played on my account before the ban happened. And also, I was accused of mouse and keyboarding during that game, if that correlates. The issue is they only provided me information on all my past competitive matches only from June 22nd and onwards. It did not track any of the games I played previously on my other streams before June 22nd. I did change my battle tag username, which might make some people argue, oh, that's why the history didn't track those previous matches before the 22nd. But the thing is, I changed my username on the 23rd. So the fact that it tracked my matches on the 22nd, that wouldn't make sense then. This was annoying though, since I did plan to have proof for every single game that I've played since I started live streaming on April 11th, 2026. So now instead, my proof for my gameplay those days before the 22nd comes from how my time played on stream those days matches with my login and log off times and dates. If it is possible to access this information somehow by Blizzard, I am more than willing to do it because it only proves my innocence further. And here you see on June 23rd, I did change my battle tag username, and this font makes my name stick out a lot more. And including Zim makes people want to watch my replay more, since sometimes people will skip the kill cam. And even though I have a name like this, which isn't against the rules, my gameplay is entirely legit and purely controller, which you can see on all the live streams. So if this were to have gotten me reported because a player thought I was zimming, this only proves even more that the report system is entirely automated and based on high report volumes on players. And it only goes to show that no manual review is truly done by a Blizzard employee, which they claim to do on these ban/restrictions, which only goes to show how abusable this whole system is. I link Aimbach, a creator who's done a lot of research on this, and he made a Google document below, and he just goes to show how unfair this report system is and how it really is automated. And honestly, I got the inspiration to change my name to Zim and the weird font because I saw someone on Twitter claim that their work of art was AI, and a lot of people were hating on him for it, but then he only reversed and proved that it was actually all hand-drawn, which is like 10 out of 10 rage bait. And just as the final nail in the coffin, after my third ban, I was curious what would happen if I submitted a ticket. So I submitted this and I got this response. So luckily I didn't get the generic AI response and they're actually trying to help. So when I click the link and go on my restrictions, it shows this. So pretty much with this type of ban, there's just no way to appeal it through Blizzard. It's just not possible. It just really sucks that there's no way to appeal my ban through Blizzard. So I really hope this video is able to at least prove my innocence. And in case anything I said wasn't clear enough, I again link my Google document in the description, which is more cohesive on everything I went through. So just to do some closing remarks, I thought it'd be fitting to wear the Hammond onesie, but I wouldn't be making this video if I wasn't so passionate about this game. I've been playing it for, man, like 10 years. I've spent so much time. I've made so many friends playing this game. It's my favorite game of all time. And just so getting treated by Blizzard like this when I've invested so much money and time into this game I love, it's been such an awful feeling. And not even being able to appeal it through Blizzard directly just really sucks. And obviously the next place you want to go is anywhere online. So when I go to Reddit and everyone just keeps downing me and my legitimacy, that just sucks even more. Like, where am I supposed to go to appeal this? So this is the only way I feel like I have a way to explain my whole situation, just to prove my innocence. And I'm not the only one that this is happening to. In the Google document I mentioned that's in the description of everything I face, I link a lot of Reddit and YouTube links of other people having the same exact issue as me, and they all share the same sentiment of, what am I supposed to do? Blizzard is denying my appeals. And I really hope Blizzard is able to fix this ban and appeal system, because it truly is unfair. If someone gets reported so many times, there really isn't anything they can do about it. So that's just my main message. No hate to Blizzard at all. I just want to, for 10 years, I've had a completely clean account without any restrictions or anything. So all I want is all of my 3 past restrictions just wiped clean, because it sucks having something on my account, like stain my account, knowing I never am guilty for that. So that's why I'm here today. And if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I hope I can just get unbanned and play the game. Because every time I play this game, it's like, shoot, am I gonna get banned? I don't even know. But thanks, guys.
You just got to watch a Hammy Whammy Productions video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more epic content. Bye now.